Welcome to Mirasol's PHP cooking class. This is the beginning of a 2-week series. This week we're going to be making a black bean salsa or salad on a bed of greens with roasted chicken for those that eat meat, and those that are vegetarian will be having the black bean salsa as their protein with some tortilla chips as their start. We've got some lettuce for our veg. We have some nice ingredients here to make our black bean salsa or salad. And then we have some chicken that we will be roasting. So I've already done a little bit of prep work. In this bowl I've got 8 cups of black beans and 1 cup of corn. So we've got some green onions we're going to put in, some cilantro, a little bit of cucumber that we're going to just have a quarter and slice, and then finish slicing off the tomatoes. And then, so we'll just cut the ends off of our onions here. And with our chopping claw that we have to keep our thumb nice and safe and a flat surface, we're going to just run our knife through. And if you all remember our grip that we have on the knife, the 3 fingers go around the plastic part, and that just gives you a lot of stability and makes it safer. So that's going to go into our bowl. And then I've peeled our washed cucumber, cut it in half, and then in half again, and that basically quarters it. So I'm just going to take the cherry tomatoes now, which have been washed, and finish just slice in half, and then so we can be nice and safe, we turn it on the flat end. So what you saw me do is something that's always really great when you are cooking at home for yourself to make it kind of easier, is you want to look at your recipe and kind of set everything out and kind of do that prep work so that once you start cooking you can really get it going and not have to stop and search for ingredients or equipment. So lastly, I have a pre-mixed spice mix that I did. We're not going to use the whole thing, and I wrote the ingredients on here. It's 2 tablespoons garlic powder, tablespoon of oregano, 2 teaspoons cumin powder, 1 teaspoon smoked salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. So nothing spicy in here, and we're going to do our 3-finger pinch, which is about a teaspoon. And go ahead and put that in here. And we want 2 3-finger pinches. And we're doing it this way because, as I've encouraged in the past, it's really nice to get down with your food, touch the food, get tactile with it, kind of get to know it in its various stages, because you get more familiar with it. It becomes less scary the more familiar you get. And then lastly, we're just going to add some lime juice. And I just cut them in half, and I find this is the quickest and easiest way to juice these limes. Stick a fork in the middle and just squeeze it. So we're going to do lime and just a touch of olive oil in here. And part of the reason we're going to use olive oil is because the fat helps carry flavor. So it's going to kind of help everything blend together and really pop through all these great flavors that we've combined. So it's going to be about a tablespoon of olive oil. And now we're going to kind of let that sit and let all the flavors join and dance together and get to know each other. So they will be very delightful. And I have preheated the oven to 400, and I have chicken that's here that I haven't done anything to except for trim it a little bit. So I'll bring it over here. And I dried it with a little bit of paper towel, and that's because dry meat sears better. So I'm going to salt it, and we want to salt from above. And this is what the nerd in me calls an aerial assault. And the reason that we do an aerial assault is because with the height, we actually get a better distribution of our salt. Rather than going like this, you end up with little pockets of saltiness and then little bland areas. And now just a little bit of garlic powder. And that is our seasoned meat. So we're going to crank the burner for just a minute and let that get nice and hot. And so the reason why I'm heating up the pan first without anything in it is because we want the pan to be smoking hot basically. If I were to add the oil to it now, we would get the oil smoking hot and then it would burn our meat. You always kind of want to do that first, just heat up your pan, and you can do a couple of things to test it. You can do a little flick of water on there, and if it sizzles and evaporates quickly, it's pretty much done. So we're going to add about a teaspoon of olive oil, maybe about a half teaspoon. I'm going to just coat the pan a little bit with it. And then we're going to put what we call service side down first. So this is the back of the breast, this is the top. So we're going to put it down in the pan and away from it. So basically, we're going to just leave it alone. And a lot of people have the tendency to want to mess around with their food in the pan and their protein. If we were sauteing vegetables, we could go ahead and start moving the pan around and letting everybody kind of party in the pan. But with protein, or tofu even, we want that color, so we want to maintain contact with the hot surface for as long as possible. And in fact, if you're using a non-stick skillet, the meat won't release until it's perfect. I'll just show you now. The meat is starting to get that nice color that we're looking for. So go ahead and flip it over, and I'll give it about a minute on this side, and then we'll put it in the oven. So for our healthy fats today, we've got our avocado, which I've sliced pretty thinly, so you can just run the spoon through it and put it wherever you like, and then some pepitas. The next week, we have the same ingredients, the same recipe, and the clients get in and make what they just saw me do.